Let's stay in the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers moved to 6-3 with a 23-19 win against the Green Bay Packers. The Steelers are outgained for the 9th straight game this season. They give up 388 total yards and move to 6-3 on the season. Old tungsten arm strikes again for Pittsburgh. Old
tungsten arm. Yeah. How is this happening?
They had 119 net passing yards. I'll say this was the best the run game has looked for Pittsburgh in a while, at least results-wise. And listen, nuance here. I think there was a combination. There was some really well individually blocked plays by Pittsburgh. I also thought this was really bad run defense by Green Bay. As I was grinding the film, the run fits and the run defense was not great. But Jaylen Warren continues to add a spark to this offense, a little explosiveness in some of his shifty runs and acceleration. So Jaylen Warren finishes with 15 carries for a 101 and a score. Najee Harris finds the end zone as well. And I think Pittsburgh's run game was really good. But I thought we had this game pegged, Sam, in the preview. We were looking at the splits and we're like, this, nobody's going to do anything till the second half and everything. But this is the complete opposite. All the scoring came early. And Steelers were up 23-19 early in the fourth quarter. 20-19 early in the fourth quarter. They go up 23-19 and just hold off Green Bay. The real story in the game ends up becoming the Steelers' perspective. Steelers bend but don't break defense.
Yeah.
388 yards. However, the Packers go 1 for 5 in the red zone.
Right. It didn't happen the way I said, but it was the right score, right? The Steelers are supposed to win by 4. It was just I expected that to happen in the last drive by Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, you were half right.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. I got the margin of victory was correct. Just the manner in which it happened was incorrect.
Yeah. I mean, it was 17-13 at the half. It should have been 17-13 in the second half.
Right. It should have been like a 0-3 game at the half.
Exactly.
And then everything happened in the second half, and instead it was the opposite.
Yeah. If it was 6-6 at the half, and then the Steelers pulled away 17-13 in the second half, it would have made sense. Just flip them. It's like old Raiders drafts. Just
turn them upside down.
Turn them upside down.
It's a better draft.
Any thoughts on this game? Takeaways?
Well, one thing that struck when you were talking about the run games there, like both these teams have an old school thunder and lightning backfield. Like each guy has a big heavy bruiser and then a smaller, shiftier, fast, explosive running back that they actually do use in tandem. And I think there's something to that when the thunder part of your backfield is missing the lightning, Like you don't need thunder and lightning, but the thunder needs to have the capacity to have lightning, right? Like Derrick Henry has got some lightning to his game. You don't need the lightning because Derrick Henry brings the lightning, right? When you just have thunder, you need the lightning.
Thunder brought the lightning more for the Packers than lightning.
Yeah. On this occasion. Not usually, though.
Not usually.
Yeah. And it helped, and part of that was the lightning dropping the football.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting because this was like Jordan Love coming out of college description, where he was going to have some big-time throws and some boneheaded mistakes and everything. And like the game-ending interception, I don't think you can – it's a last play, right? All you can ask is that you give your receiver a chance. He didn't necessarily do that, but that's the fact that it's an interception doesn't matter. It's a desperation throw. But Love had some beautiful throws in this game. First touchdown to Romeo Doubs, touchdown to Jaden Reed behind the defense. These were the types of big-time throws that you want from a Jordan Love. Explosiveness that the Packers offense did not have.
Which hasn't been a big part of his game, actually, this season. Like, for a quarterback that generally you would hear him described in Jameis Winston terms of, highly volatile, a lot of big, a lot of bad. There haven't actually been that many big plays before this game. Where is his big-time throw rate?
I've got no plays on. He's down in the 20s somewhere.
Why do I not see his name in the list of quarterbacks?
Stalling here.
Oh, because I'm looking at last year.
But like my note on the red zone. So he throws. So the Packers have
3.2% before this game.
Pretty low.
Yeah.
Before the Packers had their final opportunity, they had, with about 3 minutes left, second down. There's an interception in the end zone, and it's Christian Watson against Patrick Peterson. and Love kind of just chucked it up. So this is where when I'm trying to describe the Packers offense, this isn't necessarily a turnover-worthy play. I don't think it's a bad throw, and what you're doing is just kind of like giving your receiver a jump ball opportunity in the end zone when you need a touchdown with 3 minutes left in the game. It's not an egregious decision. Pass gets tipped up and gets picked by Keanu O'Neal. But it was one of those decisions where Christian Watson runs a horrible route. He runs a double move against Patrick Peterson, and Peterson's like, ha, 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 seen this one before. Stays on top of it. And then Watson's not competitive enough at the catch point. Peterson tips it up. It gets picked off. It's easy to revise history and be like, oh, Jordan Love should hit the check down. But there is this element of knowing when to take the chance. I feel like I was seeing this with Jameis Winston in the comeback opportunity too. Throwing a game-ending interception's not the worst thing in the world, right? You've got nothing to lose. But there's something about the timing of when to take those chances. On second down, Jordan Love had a check down available. He kind of just, let me just chuck it up and take this chance like it's fourth down, right? That's a piece of what's missing, I think, in Love's game is knowing when to take those chances, when to make those plays. And that ended up coming back to bite. And then again, on the last drive, though, they get into range because I couldn't believe Jordan Love completed the pass to Jaden Reed to just get into a scoring opportunity late. He's fallen back. It was like he was full Jameis. And I was tweeting through that. It felt like, Love was playing a Jameis-y type of game. Jameis was actually playing on the other side, playing like a Jameis game. And then if you're watching Red Zone or you have the multiple screens up, they both literally threw game-ending interceptions at the same exact time. It was well synced. So I was actually kind of intrigued by Love for a lot of this game. But there's still just some of those when to take the shots, when to check down, like some of those things may be missing from his game.
That interception was such a weird play.
Would you agree with my assessment on Watson's route? And
so
I
everything's
don't
bad.
love the chance.
Everything is bad.
Yeah.
Everything. So you hear a lot about double slants, right? One side of the field, you got two receivers, they're both running a slant, and the idea is, depending on how the defense plays it, one of them is open, right? Your job as the quarterback is to figure that out based off the alignment and based off what is being jumped. They ran double out and ups. Both receivers on that side ran the same out and up, right? Now, neither one of them was open because, okay, Patrick Peterson plays that very well. The man has been in the NFL for a long time. He's seen a lot. He's playing, he's actually playing both parts of it pretty well. Like, he's in position to drive on the out, but never buys it enough to take himself out of position for the up. He does a really good job on that. Now, part of that, I don't think Jordan Love sells anything. Like, the closest he comes to pump faking is like taking his arm back slightly, and that's just not enough to move a guy like Patrick Peterson. So they never sell the out. Christian Watson's route isn't good. Even if it was, there's a safety over the top anyway because there's a second receiver there running exactly the same thing, taking the safety towards that spot. So, the play design is terrible as well. You're moving the other defender to the position that would help, even if the corner drove on that.
Just a little stick nod next to it, right?
Yeah, but it's like a pretty severe one. So everything is bad on this play. And I think now Christian Watson is reaching this point where, so you look at this Green Bay Packers receiving core, and it's incredibly young, and it's making mistakes, and so you got Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Luke Musgrave, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, taking a bigger and bigger part. Your guy, Samari Toure, isn't playing at the moment, he's hurt, but is in this mix as well. All these players, and you had this sort of established pecking order of this is the depth chart, right? I think the Packers are reaching this point now where a meritocracy would reorder this because Christian Watson probably isn't amongst their top three receivers anymore. And yet, theoretically, as the high draft pick, he's arguably the number one on the depth chart. But Watson had a bad game in this, and it wasn't just that route, which wasn't great. He had a drop pass that was bad. He doesn't win at the catch point. He doesn't necessarily win physically for a guy that's overwhelming in size and speed, and it's costing them. He's one of the chief architects of these small mistakes, the compound that we talk about every single week for this Packers offense. Dontavian Wicks should probably be playing more than Christian Watson is at this point.
Yeah, man. Watson last year you had all those touchdowns, all those big plays.
Yeah.
Because of his speed. And
Right.
I thought the speed plus LaFleur did a really nice job of getting him into space. And I know I reference Khalif Raymond a lot, but he was like a bigger version of a Khalif Raymond where it's like, here's my speed guy. If you miss a line just a little bit, he's behind you. And that's a big play, which is great. That's a great skill set to have. You know I love speed and acceleration. But he's not great at pure route running. I mean, I'm just talking like running a curl with nuance, working back to the ball, and being QB friendly, as we like to say. He doesn't do any of that stuff very well, including this route and this, the catch point. So maybe he is just an oversized speed player, right? Speed, deep threat type of guy where you don't want to take too many one-on-one, contested catch shots or whatever it might be. Jordan Love did the same thing, the game ender against the Raiders, where it just didn't feel the right time to take that chance. It's late in the game. You got to take these chances, but you're just not picking the right spots for it. The one other controversial play in this game, Kenny Pickett backwards pass that was called incomplete. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I thought it was directly straight. Like the ball was on the back half, like it was on the back part of the hash, and it ended up on the back part of the hash, but like camera angles make it look backwards. Am I crazy?
Not crazy. I think it definitely went backwards, but I think it went backwards by a lot smaller margin than everything made it look.
Yeah.
Like every camera angle made it look bad. It also, by the way, moved in the air. Like had it continued exactly straight on the track that it left his hand, it probably would have been directly straight down the line. But when you look, there's an angle from the sideline in particular. You see it move in the air. Like I don't know if it came out of his hand weird and therefore like skewed in the air, or if a gust of wind took it, but it moved sideways in the air, and that's what took it backwards. I think it was pretty clearly backwards, albeit by a much smaller margin than like the sort of basic camera angles made it look. Anytime it's like changing height, it's always going to be weird depending on the angle you're looking at, because the drop in height is going to make it look like it's traveling laterally.
I got it.
Three-dimensional space, Steve. It's a tricky thing these days.
It is very tricky. Well, credit the Steelers for their run game. Loved, again, Jaylen Warren running extremely well. Run game, red zone defense wins it again for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they move to 6-3.
And sideline Canada.